Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 9th. Here's what we're working on.
The city of Hamilton will be doing more road work in the city's east end starting next week as part of the ongoing LRT project.
The Alcohol and Gaming Commission has cleared a jockey at the Fort Erie racetrack of any wrongdoing.
She's got to be.
Thielen in motion. McCarthy keeps. He's got it. And forces his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
And J.J. McCarthy rallies the Vikings in his first NFL start to a dramatic win over the Bears. Thank you for joining us. Steve is back again. You came back. That's a good sign.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. And Brian's off on got a perfect week for the most part for holidays this week.
He always does.
That's right. A little fly in the ointment, though, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But again, right now we're going to start with our weather and check and see if you're heading out the door right now. Here's what we've got on the go. Temperature in around 9 degrees, depending on where you are. Mostly clear skies, light winds, so it's a nice start to the day. Let's check your roads and see what's going on at a minute past 6 here. So down in the Niagara area, QEW Glendale Exchange, again, things are a little later than they were yesterday by the looks of things. Ontario Street, again, traffic's moving along well. And as I said yesterday, we're not looking for weather to be a factor in your drive to work most of these days along here. By the Burlington Skyway Bridge, seeing no problems. Guelph Line, traffic starting to build a little bit, but certainly not as heavy as it was at this time yesterday. By the Ford plant, seeing no major problems. 403 east of Mississauga Road, looking in good shape. By Glen Aaron Drive, okay. As we get up to the airport, Pearson Airport, traffic is well, a little bit lighter than it was yesterday, so it's kind of going along with the trend here. 401 west of 400. Just looking around, we're not seeing any major problems right now. Things are starting to build, but otherwise we are in good shape. So I'll be back a little bit later on. We'll check more traffic and look at that weather forecast for the next few days.
Okay, let's look at traffic way down the road. The city of Hamilton is going to be doing more construction work in the East End next week. It's part of the LRT project. Simone Gavros joins us now from Queenston and Rosewood with the details. Good morning.
Good morning, Annette. This is pretty similar to the work that was done at the end of July, just a little ways down behind me on Parkdale Avenue. So the city is going to be installing a new water main in this area, but that's going to lead to a couple of lane closures starting on September 15th for about 3 months. Now, the city says they're going to start with the removal of the existing water main that's in this area. 2 lanes of traffic will be maintained with some impact to traffic for up to 2 weeks. Then in October, the longest part of the construction is going to take place. Enbridge Gas is going to be relocating the existing gas main, and that's going to accommodate for the new water main, which will take up to 8 weeks. Finally, the new pipe will be installed sometime between late October and early November. Now, Metrolinx is overseeing the 14-kilometer project, which will stretch from McMaster to Eastgate Mall. The city says they're upgrading a number of infrastructure along the way, including 16 kilometers of water main replacement and 28 kilometers of sidewalk upgrades. Now, while this construction is taking place, again, that starts on September 15th, the city is just reminding drivers to plan accordingly because there are likely going to be a lot of delays in this area. For now, back over to you, Rick.
Thank you, Simone. The rebuild of a public washroom in Hamilton's Woodlands Park has been delayed. The washroom in the park at Barton and Wentworth was destroyed by fire last January, and since the fire, the city of Hamilton has completed demolition, structural assessments, and secured permits for a full rebuild. Construction has progressed throughout the year with major work like roof installation and exterior brickwork underway. However, recent setbacks, including vandalism and the theft of copper piping from the main water line, have pushed the completion dates to late October. Enhanced security measures are now in place, including cage doors and reinforced entry points. While the washroom remains closed, other park amenities, including the playground, soccer field, and spray pad, are still open to the public.
The mayor of Welland wants the Ontario and federal governments to toughen laws and enforce stricter penalties for people convicted of sexual crimes. Frank Campion's appeal comes after a registered sex offender was charged after a girl under 5 was sexually assaulted during a break-in at her family's home. Campion is demanding stronger bail and sentencing laws, no parole for these crimes, and stricter enforcement of the National Sex Offender Registry. He adds that Welland deserves more than outrage and grief.
A jockey has been cleared after a race last month at Fort Erie Racetrack.
Princess O'Denmark's still well clear at the head of the lane. She's got to be 70 yards in front with almost a furlong to travel.
Yet the horse leading the race on August 4th didn't win, prompting an investigation by the Ontario Alcohol and Gaming Commission. He wanted to know why jockey Kirk Johnson looked over his shoulder. After interviews with Johnson, the horse's trainer, and veterinarians, the commission determined Johnson was, quote, merely assessing the situation. The trainer says Princess O'Denmark is very difficult to ride and train and has difficulty finishing her races. The commission determined Johnson had every intention of winning, and there were no violations of the rules of racing.
Alderman Norfolk OPP have shut down an illegal cannabis operation. Last Wednesday, officers carried out a search warrant at a property on McDowell Road East in Simcoe. They seized dried cannabis, cannabis oil, edibles, vape products, operational equipment, paraphernalia, cash, and 2 stolen utility trailers. A 47-year-old man is facing several drug-related charges. A Hamilton man can now apply for an exemption after the city ordered him to remove 10 security cameras from outside his home.
Now they're backtracking a bit and they're saying, okay, well, if you get permission from your neighbors signed on a piece of paper and you get screenshots showing us what you cover and you pay a fee, of course, they want some sort of exemption fee or something.
That's Dan Miles. 2 weeks ago, he got an order under Hamilton's fortification bylaw. That bylaw prevents homeowners from viewing or listening beyond the boundaries of their property. He's not the only one who's gone through something like this. Derek Streimer of Stony Creek says he was contacted by the city in 2021 to remove 11 cameras he'd installed after a home invasion. He was able to keep them after paying $200 for an exemption. Well, demolition has begun at Hamilton's Jamesville housing project. The site used to have over 90 affordable units, but has sat empty for almost 10 years. Work has been delayed for years, mostly because CN Rail challenged the project at the Ontario Land Tribunal over concerns about its nearby shunting yard. Earlier this year, the city asked the province to step in with a ministerial zoning order. Well, the case is still ongoing. The city says starting demolition now will speed up any future work if the project gets the go-ahead.
Well, again, that's slightly dependent upon what happens with the CN appeal. As many would know, we've also requested a ministerial zoning order through the ministry with the support of the city, and we're waiting on the outcome of that request as well.
Adam Sweedland says the latest plan for the site includes multiple buildings of different heights, one of which will be owned by City Housing and will offer 46 geared-to-income units.
Sportsline. After sitting out his rookie season last year with a knee injury, Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy made his long-awaited NFL debut on Monday Night Football, and it was worth the wait.
Thielen in motion. McCarthy keeps. He's got it. And forces his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
The first-year signal caller threw 2 touchdowns and ran for what turned out to be the game-winning score as Minnesota scored 21 points in the fourth quarter to erase a 17-6 deficit and beat the Chicago Bears 27-24 at Soldier Field. And with that, McCarthy became the first quarterback since Steve Young in 1985, yes, 40 years ago, to win his debut after trailing by 2 touchdowns in the fourth. Chicago quarterback Caleb Williams scored his first career rushing touchdown and threw for a major in Ben Johnson's debut as Bears head coach. After their wild come-from-behind win on Sunday night, the Buffalo Bills have become the outright favorites to win Super Bowl 60. Oddsmakers have listed Buffalo at plus 550 to raise the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the first time on February 8th at Levi Stadium. Baltimore is next at plus 650, followed by the defending champion Eagles, Packers, and Chiefs. Bills quarterback Josh Allen also leapfrogging Baltimore's Lamar Jackson as the favorite to win the MVP award for the second year in a row. The Blue Jays were idle yesterday, so they were keeping an eye on the AL East rival Boston. Trevor Story hit a solo homer in the first inning, and that's all the run support Garrett Crochet needed. He threw 7 scoreless innings and struck out 10 as the Red Sox routed the A's 7-0 in Sacramento. The win pushes the Bo Sox 3 games behind the Blue Jays and 1 game back of second-place New York. Toronto hosts the Astros tonight. For the second time in 3 days, the Dodgers lost a no-hit bid in the 9th inning. Tyler Glasnow and Blake Treinen put up a donut for 8 innings last night before Tanner Scott gave up Colorado's first hit in the 9th as LA beat Colorado 3-1. The Dodgers remain a game ahead of second-place San Diego in the NL West division race. The Northern Super League is looking to add a 7th team in 2027. The fledgling Women's Pro Soccer League launched this season with franchises in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Halifax, Calgary, and Vancouver. And word is the NSL is looking to add a 7th franchise somewhere from Manitoba to BC. The 2025 season will conclude with the championship game November 15th in Toronto. After reaching the semifinals at the U.S. Open, Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime has jumped 14 spots to number 13 in the world tennis rankings. It's the 25-year-old Montrealer's highest ranking since he was number 6 in the world in 2022. Denis Shapovalov of Richmond Hill rose 3 spots to number 26, while Montreal's Gabriel Diallo dropped 2 places to number 35. Pearl Atwood is living proof that you're never too old to do what you love. The Pennsylvania native has been playing golf for the last 50 years, and now at 100 years of age, she still hits the links every week.
I used to play 18 holes, but I've cut down to 9 now. Every Wednesday, I feel blessed that I can do this. Woohoo! Oh, that felt great.
Way to go, Pearl. Her golfing pals recently treated Pearl to a surprise birthday party on the green a few days after her actual 100th birthday on September 1st. And the Intercounty Baseball League final resumes tonight in Barrie after Welland took Game 1 on Sunday.
Okay, let's check your traffic now for today. Much like yesterday, we have some clear skies to start the day. Traffic's a little bit lighter today. Let's go down, first of all, to one spot that's usually a little busier this time of day. QEW on the Skyway here, on the looking at the Hamilton side, heading into Burlington from the Stony Creek area closest to us. And traffic's starting to build up just a little bit. Niagara bound, no problems there at all. Also, another spot to always look at, Pearson Airport area, 401 moving along in pretty good shape. And again, much like in most other areas, we're looking at a little bit lighter traffic. Down towards Niagara, seeing no major problems out there right now, so it's kind of nice as we speak out there. And just taking up to 401 west of the 400, again, traffic moving a little bit better than it was this time yesterday. As far as traffic is concerned, well, we're in good shape. Weather-wise, we're also in very good shape, so let's have a look at that right now. So again, looking at the radar, there's really nothing over top of us, just a few wispy clouds here and there, but otherwise it was a nice night last night, a little bit of fog. That will dissipate over the next little while, so be aware of that. We could have some fog again tonight, but any rain or clouds for the most part, storm being pushed away by high pressure just to the east of us, and that's what's giving us some nice weather. And we'll, for the most part, right into the weekend and maybe even beyond. Sun will be up today at 6:53 a.m., down at 7:40 p.m. Normal highs 22 degrees this time of year and lows of 11 degrees. So here's this high pressure system that slid up from yesterday. We're looking at a combination of high pressure, a clockwise rotation, a low pressure, counterclockwise, bringing up lots of warm air. So we're going to be at or above seasonal by a couple of degrees by the looks of things for the next couple of days here, but mostly clear skies. So it's going to be very, very nice out there for the next little while. A little bit of humidity coming tomorrow possibly as well. Wednesday we do have a front sliding through, doesn't seem to change things a whole lot. Then we get back into that same area, high pressure, low pressure coming in, and we again some nice conditions happening out there. So we'll continue with some nice weather, and we'll look at the extended forecast coming up in the next few minutes. But that's it for now.
Okay, that sounds lovely, Steve. Thanks very much. Right after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business news, nearly half of Canadians surveyed in a new poll want the temporary foreign workers program to end. We're going to say good morning to Emily right now with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat.
Hi, good morning. Joni Mitchell and Drake are among some of the year's recipients at the 2025 SOCAN Awards. We will take a look at the trailer for Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Your favorite, Annette, Daniel Craig. And later on this morning, we will meet a brand new not-for-profit organization that is teaming up with the city to boost Hamilton's growing screen industry and shine a spotlight on local talent.
Okay, so many ripple effects from that industry.
I know.
Okay, thanks very much. Turning to business news, in overseas trading, the Canadian dollar is down a basis point to 72.46 cents U.S. Gold is up almost $8 an ounce. Crude is 75 cents higher, trading at $63 a barrel. In midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London, down in Frankfurt, and up a bit in Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were down in Tokyo, up in Hong Kong, and down a wee bit in Shanghai. And on North American markets, the TSX was down 22 points yesterday. The Dow gained 114. The NASDAQ added almost 100.
Nearly half of Canadians surveyed want the temporary foreign worker program scrapped. An Abacus data poll shows 44% support for ending the program. It goes up to 48% among people in their 20s. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has proposed eliminating the program. He called out specific fast food restaurant chains that he claims are hiring foreigners over locals through job postings that call specifically for temporary foreign workers. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the program will remain as part of a wider immigration review. Canada plans to cut temporary residents to 5% of the population, down from just over 7% earlier this year.
Average asking rents in Canada continue to go down in August. A new report from rentals.ca and Urban Nation says the average rental rate across the country was $2,137 in August, down 2.3% from a year ago. But in Hamilton, one bedrooms averaged nearly $1,800, remaining almost unchanged from last year. In Niagara Falls, they rose 1.1% to $1,700. And Oakville saw one-bedroom units at nearly $2,300, which is down 2% compared with last August. While the latest figures mark 11 straight months of declines, the results are still up 1% from 2023.
The federal government isn't saying if Canada is going to hit its 2030 Paris climate target. Environment Minister Julie Debrozin says the government is still committed to reaching net zero emissions by 2050, but won't confirm whether the 2030 goal is still a possibility. An updated emissions plan is expected soon. Prime Minister Mark Carney recently highlighted low-carbon industries and energy-efficient homes. Canada is already far from reaching its 2030 target because emissions are only 7% below what they were in 2005.
Prime Minister, meantime, says businesses in Atlantic Canada will be able to access $80 million of the tariff relief fund.
Equipping Atlantic Canadian businesses with the tools they need to respond to new challenges, to innovate, to modernize, to expand operations and customer bases, to take full advantage of new opportunities.
Ottawa set aside $1 billion to help small and medium-sized businesses diversify their markets and adopt new technologies. Canadian businesses have faced tariffs up to 50% from the United States, including on steel and aluminum, while China has hit the farming industry in retaliation for levies on electric vehicles.
And Industry Minister Mélanie Joly says Quebec's aluminum sector is likely to receive hundreds of millions of dollars from a $5 billion fund to help sectors that are hit hardest by U.S. tariffs. Nearly all of Canada's aluminum is produced in Quebec. Joly says the federal government hasn't determined exactly how that money will be split.
We're going to take a quick break. Steve is going to be back with your traffic update and 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Welcome back to Morning Live. It's 6:23 on your Tuesday. So on the highways, looking pretty good. Traffic's a little bit lighter in general terms right across the area here in the Golden Horseshoe down towards Niagara. Looking at the Skyway Bridge, again, traffic's moving along in good shape, weather not a factor. Ontario Street, again, things are fairly quiet right now. A little busier, though, through the Hamilton, Stony Creek area into Burlington as we look at the Burlington Skyway Bridge. And on the right side of your screen, heading into Burlington from Stony Creek, traffic starting to slow down just a little bit. Niagara bound, not so much. Walker's Line, much like yesterday, has now started to slow down a little bit, but the traffic is a little bit lighter still in volume there, but still slowing down a bit. Up by the Ford plant, seeing no major problems right now. As we go to Mississauga Road and the 403, seeing things looking in good shape. Up by Pearson Airport, traffic's moving along in good shape. So it's started off quite nicely here today. Let's hope it stays that way for the rest of our morning here. And thanks again for joining us here on Morning Live. Let's have a look and see what we've got on the go for us today weather-wise. So temperatures outside right now look like this. Hamilton 9, Grimsby 11, Toronto 13, Mississauga 10. And we're going to be 1 or 2 degrees above seasonal temperature-wise today, and lots of sun because, as you can see here, we have lots of clear sky, and that's because high pressure is to the east of us and giving us all these nice clear skies. And a low pressure system coming across here, which won't affect our weather. It's going up over top of us, is also helping to drive up those temperatures by 2 or 3 degrees, but no humidity today. May get a little bit tomorrow, but nothing much today. Your day planner looks like this. Will be up to 23 degrees or so. That's a degree above seasonal. No humidity, mostly sunny skies, so very, very nice. And as we look at your evening commute, again, 23 should be your temperature around 4 or 5 o'clock, and mostly clear skies, so that's kind of nice out there. And looking at the extended forecast, so we're still into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sunny conditions. Friday, you know, we've got Super Craw, we've got the Tiger Cat game. 30% chance of showers early in the day. That's what it looks like right now. Time-wise, not exactly sure. We'll be watching that for you. Nighttime, though, should be okay. Saturday, Sunday, back into sunny skies with temperatures at or above seasonal. So Friday's the only fly in the ointment right now. We'll try to get rid of that. That's it for now.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, Australia is set to create something that people have been calling for years, a Great Koala National Park.
The New South Wales government will convert 176,000 hectares of state forest and link it with existing national parks, creating a 476,000 hectare reserve about 500 kilometers north of Sydney. That's more than 4 times the size of the city of Hamilton. 15% of the state's dwindling koala population are estimated to live in the park. Koalas were declared endangered in 2022, and experts warn they could disappear from the wild by 2050 if action isn't taken.
So many of them were lost during the wildfires that they had.
Yes, absolutely. A good thing that they're doing this too, because they're so cute.
Yes, very cute.
Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. I just want to give them a big hug.